All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into Elon Musk's vision for the future. And let me tell you, it's a wild ride. We're talking about a world where work is totally optional, money becomes a thing of the past, and get this, our reality might not even be real. So let's just kick things off with this bombshell quote. In less than 20 years, working will be optional. I mean, that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But Musk is dead serious. He's not talking about, a 4-day work week. He means the end of having to work for a living. So the big question is, how on earth do we get from here to there? Well, you might think the path to this future starts with, robots or some super advanced AI. But for Musk, it actually starts somewhere completely different. It starts with something way more fundamental, how we as a species talk to each other. And yeah, it all begins with his vision for X, formerly Twitter. So the way he saw it, the old Twitter had this really strong political lean, kind of shaped by its San Francisco base. But his goal wasn't to just flip it to the other side. No, he wanted to pull it back to what he calls a neutral center, a genuine global town square, where the only rule is you follow the laws of whatever country you're in. But look, this is about so much more than just politics. His real goal, the big picture vision, is to build what he calls a collective consciousness. Just think about that. A single global platform where auto-translation just works. Every language barrier, just gone. The idea is to connect literally all of humanity in one conversation. So why? What's the point of all that? For Musk, it boils down to one massive idea: expanding the scope and scale of human consciousness. He really believes that if we can genuinely link all of our minds together, we can start to ask bigger, better questions. Questions about the very nature of the universe. And that drive, that need to understand reality, well, that's the philosophical engine behind his next big prediction. And this is the one that really gets disruptive. This is the one that's going to redefine everything. The end of work as we know it. Now, this isn't some far-off, maybe one day kind of thing. Musk lays out a timeline that is, frankly, shockingly aggressive. He's predicting that in just 10 to 15 years, AI and robotics are going to move so fast that our entire economic system will just be turned completely on its head.
Yeah, he's so confident, he actually put a hard number on it. Less than 20 years. He's basically saying, hey, record this, set a reminder, and check back with me. That's how sure he is that work, for humans, will become optional.
And here's a really key point. This isn't a vision of mass unemployment. It's the exact opposite. It's about creating a society of what he calls hyperabundance. A world where AI and robotics can make anything, any good, any service, completely on demand. I mean, think about that. If you want it, it can be made for you. Okay, but let's follow this logic. If you've got a world where AI and robots make everything, and nobody needs to work for a paycheck, what happens to the one thing our entire civilization is built on? I'm talking about money. Right, because Musk's whole argument is that money, when you strip it all down, is just an information system. It's for allocating human labor. He gives this great example. Imagine you're on a desert island with $1 trillion. It's totally useless, right? Because there's no one's labor to buy. So in a world with total automation, what's the point of money? He actually has a name for this, the economic singularity. It's like a point of no return for our economy. So first, you get this crazy abundance. That makes human labor obsolete. And if labor is obsolete, then money, which is based on labor, becomes irrelevant. So something else has to become the new currency. Something much more fundamental, based on physics, not economics. And that new currency, it's energy. In this kind of future, the only thing that truly matters is the ability to generate and harness energy to do useful work. You can't just pass a law to create more energy. You can't print it. It's a hard, physical reality. And that, he says, makes it the ultimate currency, the true measure of what's possible. So, think about this journey we've just been on. We went from a global town square to a post-work society, to a post-money economy. And all of that brings us to Musk's final and honestly, most mind-bending question of all. It's this: if we, as humans, are on a path to create these incredibly complex, abundant worlds, what does that say about our reality? Musk asks the ultimate question: what are the odds that we're in base reality and not some super sophisticated simulation? And his answer is, yeah, the chances are pretty high that this is all a simulation. And his whole argument for this is actually pretty simple. It just comes down to video games. I mean, think about it. 50 years ago, we had Pong, literally 2 rectangles and a dot. Today, we have photorealistic, massive, real-time worlds with millions of people playing at once. So if you just draw a straight line from there, he argues it's basically inevitable that games will become completely indistinguishable from reality. And if that's true, what are the odds that we're the very first civilization in the history of the universe to get to that point? And that leads us to the final, really provocative thought here. If we are in a simulation, what's the goal? What are the rules? Well, Musk suggests that, from a kind of Darwinian perspective, the simulations that are most likely to survive are the ones that are the most interesting. I mean, you'd shut down a boring simulation, right? So his conclusion is fascinating. Our reality might not be optimized for safety or stability or anything like that. It might just be optimized for being interesting, which leaves us all with one final question to ponder. What's the most interesting thing we can do?